You know, I kind of hate to admit it because it's more than a little bit evil, but we're actually doing really, really well with having our money go up because we're selling Warble tea, which I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to increase the price to maximum to maybe deter people from going ahead and trying to drink from there. And then to try to make up for the fact that we are selling sponsored tea that makes people really not feel well when they drink it. In fact, you can tell the bathrooms kind of need a little bit of attention, but to try to make up for the fact that we're making money off of using people as potentially illegal test subjects is a little bit of a strong phrasing, but I'm gonna admit we kind of are selling people tea that is a cruel necessity, you might say. And look, okay, I'm gonna try to make things a little bit better. As soon as we get some more money, I'm gonna try to at least put in some more like golden bathtub or like golden toilets that maybe will ease their discomfort in the bathroom vicinity a little bit. But we need to have our way out of these debts. That's kind of the only excuse I can offer. All right, so we're performing science experiments on our guest in very questionable manners. Probably that doesn't really have an excuse that is worth making, but we'll change our semi-evil evil science ways as soon as we have enough money, which is probably the way that every evil scientist really starts, isn't it? They just need a little bit more funding and, they'll change things as soon as they can. Just right now, we're taking on a sponsorship deal from Bungle Corp for these trash cans that give us $200 a piece. We have like 4 or 5 of our janitors just standing here over and over. Okay, we're gonna need this put out, maybe? Do I have one of my janitors who can actually... Hello? Do I have one of my firefighter janitors, please? Any of my firefighter janitors available? Please? Oh my gosh, is that gonna blow? Is that gonna explode? Is this the punishment I get? Go. Okay, did we make it in time? Oh my gosh, we almost didn't make it in time. But welcome back, everyone, to where I'm beginning to wonder if we are indeed becoming slightly evil. Or at least we're practicing our empathy and our hands-on experimentation with how certain branches of villainy might fall into their ways. And the answer seems to be funding. That seems to be the... Yep, there we go. Yep, okay. We're not bankrupt! When your museum runs out of money, the museum is declared bankrupt, but the Department of Culture is here to save the day, kind of. Wait, we're bankrupt? This is how villainy begins! Some of the museum's exhibits will be repossessed to pay off the debts. Now you're a risky customer. Loan companies will make us jump through hoops. All of our outstanding loans will be wiped away. Oh dear. Oh my goodness. I have to sell our exhibits that we have to make up the debts. And now we have dynamic funding. Some of your exhibits are gone, but so is your debt. However, not all of the museum's problems are fixed. I'm not gonna fire our staff if I can help it. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And now the spa point 3 is on fire. Okay. So thankfully one of our firefighters is on the way to save the day. We now have had our outstanding debts paid off. We're about to have a whole bunch of our stuff repossessed. Now's the time to not let that happen again. Oh my gosh, my heart is pounding so hard. I've never gone bankrupt before. It's a pretty uncomfortable position to be in, I'm not going to lie. And now we actually just desperately need to have our staff go out and get us some more exhibits, I think. And I mean, I can believe, but I can't believe that just happened. And is it a sign that I should have been constantly harvesting eyeball bushes? Which also is kind of creepy and also kind of makes me think that that like this is the path to becoming an evil science like island. And okay, we're not going to become evil scientists. We need to balance all of this out with being able to do better all around. Maybe this is our chance to get rid of the evil sponsorships that we just got and instead turn and pivot our way to saving the day. Okay, so what if we don't continue to exclusively sell a whole bunch of these, evil bauble teas that definitely upset tummies? And what if instead we shrink down this bathroom, like so, and we pivot our way to maybe having a cafeteria again so that people will have something to eat that isn't going to exhaust them. Does the cafeteria doesn't really provide as much food as I am thinking it does, but you know what? We're gonna prove that we don't need the bauble tea. Maybe having a nice functional cafeteria actually is more profitable than performing illicit experiments on our attending guest, possibly. If not, well, we have a backup, but we're not gonna be thinking about that anymore, guys. We're not gonna be thinking about that anymore. Okay. All right. And then maybe this is a sign that we could possibly utilize our robots in more creative ways, because we do have our robots who might fill the positions we need them to and take up the spaces that some of our our expedition team is already coming back in. Apparently we have a space inspection. Now's probably not the time to get a space inspection, but I suppose we just have to deal with what we got. All right, and we had a nice chef. We had a chef who was able to go ahead and was able to provide plenty of food. Okay, let's see how far over we can get these tables. But we did have a chef who could provide some nice food for our guest. Maybe we can make the cafeteria a pretty profitable place. And by pivoting over here and changing it so that we've got some atomic paste for science buzz, and so that we maybe have some milkshake so that there's entertainment for adults and entertainment for children, and then maybe we'll make the cafeteria a little pricier just for now. I'm hoping that will balance out. The bauble machine is still selling, unfortunately, well, but the bathrooms are being taken care of, so that might just have to be a slightly evil mad scientist issue we've got. And once we have one of our staff members in the cafeteria, maybe that'll help. All right, see? Maybe things will turn out okay. And we have a sea monster that just, had a baby, so that's always helpful. Oh, but we did have our timeline tracker, Sunshine Astra, go back into space, seeking out more of the cells that we actually need. I'm going to analyze this to see if that's going to help us with our space stuff, and then call a janitor over to fix... Oh, a new water dragon baby! That's always very exciting. Welcome, little one. Maybe I'll leave you in there for just a bit. Well, we don't really have... Do we really need to get more knowledge about these little guys? Huh. All right, maybe we'll analyze its DNA and release it soon. There we go! And it's our eyeball bushes again. All right, so we might have to rely on our eyeball bushes to make up the difference. It turns out that harvesting eyeball bushes is less evil than going ahead and trying to give experimental brews to our visitors and just assuming that that's going to work out okay. And then let's see if we're going to have them here. I did want to get a prehistory playground down next to our time machine area. Do we have our janitor coming on over to fix this? I hope we do. Also, the guest really desperately needs somewhere to go to the bathroom. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, now we have a big area available over here, and I was thinking of possibly getting some of the little nigiri cold water fish because they happen to breed very, very quickly. That might be a good backup. Do we have people who could go down to Numdrop? Do we have a talented enough team to survive going to Numdrop? We have Diver Adelaide Faye who can prevent us from being fish food. And we have Beachwatcher Goose Bucket. And we have Sea Monster Expert. All right, nope, we definitely need those observant skills to avoid the deadly whirlpools. Let's send our crew out to risk the biscuits to go see if they can get themselves a nigiri fish. Those are actually the cold water fish, aren't they? Okay, if we're gonna risk that and we want breeding, I probably should get one of the cold water nets made first. And I was thinking we could put in maybe like the cold water nigiri fish next to the cafeteria. And we could call it, we could go ahead and we could actually call it like the sushi belt or something. Which sounds a little bad, but I'm just saying it might be helpful because they breed really, really quickly to have a few of those guys too. And now that we have our debts canceled, we can get a fish tank put in. Should it be a really long fish tank to have a whole bunch of them? Or a smaller fish tank and then maybe get like a poltergeist put in somehow? Let's start with a small one. And we'll assume that we can expand if and as needed. Okay, we're probably gonna need to expand if we want if we want to be able to like have the breeding window or like the breeding room for our fish. Because okay, yeah, this is definitely gonna need to be bigger if we want to have the nigiri fish having tons of babies. And I guess there are some cold in the cold water corridor that we have back over at our two Pebble Aquarium and Museum. Oh my gosh, did we actually had a bit of a profit. All right, unfortunately this seems like having some very, very questionable, potentially somewhat evil experiments on our guests seems to be working. Probably not good to reinforce that, but it's where we're at, friends. It is where we are at. Okay, let's see. So where else could we be at right now? We could be gathering more of those cells and getting close to Timeline Tracker, Sunshine Astra, getting high enough level that we can teach them how to fly the space rocket. Probably you think that Space Rocket Flying 101 would be available. Ooh, a hot water balloon. Yeah, go ahead. You can take that cute little like puffer fish. It's really just kind of lost in the little corner over there, so I'm sure that'll work out better for it. All right, we're gonna expand our microbiologist Dearbone labs. There we go. And then let's see, can I expand this a little more? And then we're going to get the door over here. I hope, yes, okay. So we'll get a couple more entrances over here and expand. There we go. Phew, okay, so there's a good potential chance that we might be able to have some of the Numdrop fish breeding over here. In fact, we'll probably sell this side entrance and make it so that the fish have an even bigger aquarium because they breed so quickly that I'm just very optimistic that this will be a backup emergency fund. Put your emergency funding into a whole bunch of little tiny sushi shaped fish, which are adorable, and you might be able to find a way to keep yourself from having to go into, yay, Timeline Tracker Sunshine Astra! Congratulations, congratulations, you get a little bit of a raise. I'm gonna let you go and take a break really quickly, and then we're going to train you in how to actually fly the rocket ship. Yay! And we have one of the celestial cells we need in order to make sure this thing runs. So is this the one we need? Yay! Our little advert turned back on. That's what we needed. Wonderful. So we needed to turn the intergalactic time traveling space ad back on, which are sentences I never thought I would say, yet here we are. The buzz is now increased for it. Let's get a knowledge boost if people come and visit it. It already has decoration boost. I guess this spa point 3 could definitely use a decoration boost. Does it have a buzz boost that it wants? Because I like that people can kind of just grab something to drink while they're over here. Let's put a built-in speaker so that there is a little bit of science ambiance around. It wants to be near any science decoration. I can do that for you, friend. Because random pipes sticking out of the ground next to ruins definitely fits the way that this whole theme is going. Let's see. Oh, we have our flowering cactuses. I totally forgot about those guys. Of course we need to get those science-y decorations out. We probably could put in another one of our little, like, pristine level... Ooh, and the desert twigs. Oh my gosh. The desert twigs. Oh, they're so cute. Can I put those inside? Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember that because they fit in really well with the prehistory sort of tone of this area too. Yay! We could definitely increase some buzz and get this place a little nicer over there too. And then let us train up. Ooh, and another new water dragon. That's adorable. Okay, I don't like going bankrupt, and now I kind of feel like we should try to avoid the loans if possible. But that is why we're going to train Timeline Tracker Sunshine Astra on how to actually fly the... how to actually fly. Oh wow, the water dragons actually breed for, like, they do quite well in their breeding. I didn't realize they were worth like 5,000 a piece. Nice. I guess because they're so adorable, and of course people want to see them return to the wilds. And then are we done making... We are almost done making the cold water net. And... expert needed in analysis room. I'm sure that'll work out soon, I hope. Let's see if we can get ourselves another space expert in here, because we have been adding a lot to space. Yes, and the cold water net is now done. So, back up sushi belt, which is what we're gonna call the name of the aquarium, but we're not eating them. It's just a joke, and hopefully they'll be able to go on that expedition and bring us back a couple cuties that we're not going to be eating soon. And if we need to go on expeditions and head out, I want more survey scanners just constantly going. Oh my word, and people really, look at that, yeah! People really want to be donating now. I'm so happy to see that. There you go, friends. More places to leave your money that aren't like a gift shop with our cute little sushi fish that we're gonna have in here soon. $200 every time somebody uses those bungle bins. This is how sponsorship deals just really can get you, I think. We're still losing a lot of money, which is still kind of nerve-wracking, but we're gonna be okay as soon as we just get a few more things organized. And did we get our tour stand? Oh, thank goodness. Another one of our sea dragons, or excuse me, our sea monsters. I really need to get some pristine variants of those to be breeding so that we can be rest assured that we've got the best of the best available. Do I have my tours? So let's get this tour set up, redone, because we've got so many cool new places they can go. Let's see, decoration is bad, but it has a good tour length and it's only at 4. We're gonna do well by this tour. I don't know how we're going to fix it just yet, but we will for our little science tour or space tour. And then survey scanner is done. And then I do want to get some windows in here. Maybe we'll use the Zapper funding to get some windows in, so that it's not whatever this sad empty warehouse is yet again. But going bankrupt, it was kind of less of a big deal, but also more terrifying than I thought it would be. Would prefer not to have that happen again because they took away a whole, oh, that was a profit. We actually had profit again. That's pretty cool. And then let's see if we can go out into space now with, okay, we don't have the survival skills. Training is scheduled, but I don't know if people can get in here to train. Where's my scientist? Where? Oh, where? Oh, and that's right. We were looking for you're greedy though, and you're a litterer. Oh, but he's got pilot wings. I don't know. Do we want to have a greedy, littering? I refuse. Even though that's like having to hire somebody who you know is not good for your entire facility because you're sort of desperate just to keep everything going at the moment. And we're gonna try to hold our ground, friends. We're gonna try not to have to fall into that kind of desperate depths, even though we are kind of in desperate depths, but still. Let's see. Put down a couple of our info boards. Maybe in a couple different directions so people can learn more. And I would love to have more windows again, but let's see if we ended up with our new little num drop arrivals. Oh wow, and they got lost in the sea caves and they had a leaky hull. I would be worried in that submarine too. And they've done it! They've brought back some of the little nigiri fish! Woo! We just need to get these cute little ones. Oh dear, some warmth, okay. All right, hang in there, guys. All right, let's get the heater in there just really quickly, and then the flake food in there just really quickly, just fast enough to make sure that they stay alive. Wait, no, they need the opposite of the heater. They need they need the water cooler. The water, cold water. There we go. I should have remembered, because literally, oh dear, the judgment clouder's on fire. I'm going to just close my eyes and pretend I didn't see that. How are you doing, little nigiri fish? Okay, the cold water is there. You're gonna have another nigiri fish to share the exhibit with because we had a net that would make you guys happy. You're from the num drop of the 2.C. You've got room to potentially have some cute little babies, which will hopefully help you guys out. And we're going to get your little area decorated with some... I feel like the sea anemones fit. And then I wonder if we can get some of the like wet wipers, the cute little sucker fish that also help to keep things pretty tidy and clean. And I think the aquarium ruins wouldn't be a bad idea, just because they do happen to live in a habitat that's closer than not to Atlantis. And it would be kind of fun to... Let's see, okay. And we want to make sure... All right, out you go, little sea anemone. I need a little more room. And that might be a fun way to tell people, like, hey, if you would like to see somewhere that's not quite this chaotic, do I ever have some good news for you? We happen to have a more established facility that you could enjoy with our two pebble museum. Oh, another new water dragon. Yay! This makes me much happier, being able to put down a bunch of plants for the sushi belt. Okay, all right. I'll scoot this plant over. Okay, fine. Let's see, maybe at the back? What about now? Okay, that'll do. Oh, there we go. And now we've got a few of the little fish put down, and they can, okay, the sprinkler pump's on fire too. You know, you can only do what you can do. That's my... Oh my gosh, they're already having babies. Yes! That's what I was hoping! Blessed be the little nigiri fish. Already having babies, are they? I knew they would be that awesome. And now people will walk through like a little hall of knowledge. Oh my gosh, it's so cute! All right, Operation Emergency Funding in Sushi Fish achieved. We can already release a specimen to the wild and at least hopefully make little sushi rolls to get our way out of debt in the future. So, there. All right, there's one very silly random project. Well, actually several done. Also, people are not quite so eager to pop on over here and drink from the evils of the bubble tea. Maybe we can quit that sponsorship sooner than later so people don't have to, you know, almost just fade into the wilderness feeling so sick. Can we send our space expert out now? We cannot. Where has my space expert gone? How do you... I needed survival skills, not pilot wings. Wow. I'm going to try out this novel concept called a notepad, where I put down notes. Aha! And also welcome Goose Bucket. Welcome. How do you do? You're going to be space survivalist Goose Bucket. It's really wonderful to meet you. I'm very grateful that you're going to be bringing in our Goose Bucket. There we go. Very grateful. So grateful. I'm going to risk some biscuits going ahead and giving you a bit of a raise. And also check in on how our water dragons are doing. Wonderful, wonderful. We'll go ahead and we'll release a few of the extras we've currently got. Look at that. We even have, ooh, a pristine zapper. Got to keep that one for sure. So... next time, notepad, and we might see if we can get to museum level 31 just to see how that goes for us, and we'll continue to kind of poke a little at Spoony Dunes. But now that I'm thinking about it, the Withering Lair might be an interesting place to go just because it's next to Spoony Dunes, but we also have the Great Midge Ridge. There's a lot of places we haven't even really explored, just the most basics of being nearby. Let's see, dinosaur bones, ancient inventions in Hermit Hills, you say? Well, I think that we have quite a bit of exploring and expeditions to do. And we'll see if we are going to be able to... Oh, our robots! We'll send somebody off to go and gather... That's the Netherworld, Siri. You don't want to go to the Netherworld when you're trying to go for robots because you just don't know what you might find. Just don't know what you might find indeed. Do we have any perks we could discover in the robot labs now? Let's send a couple of our available security guards. Anybody here trained in... Okay, you know what? It seems that we're gonna have even more training in survival skills. All right, anti-piracy Voskri. Let's get you in here too. And then we've got Chemist Dragon King who can go ahead and help out with the whole going down to the robot labyrinth and seeing what we can find. I love this so much. I really do. Chaos, intergalactic cat adverts, a really sad space garden where we probably should have a big note that says, please remember not to actually drink the weird space tea, and some very, very hungry guests who would love to have more places to go ahead and get something to eat. We'll take care of it next time, and I'll see you guys then. Stay curious. Good job, little sushi fish. Good job.